I welcome you with love to our upcoming workshop in Brazil. My name is Dr. Gabriel Cousens. I have been a holistic physician since 1973. I went to Columbia Medical School in New York City and also trained in psychiatry and family therapy. And I began to notice that the diet played a real important part in a person's health. I didn't have a specific diet, but I saw it made a difference. Now, in 1975, in a deep meditation, a little whisper came through to me which said, you should learn to eat and live in a way that supports the spiritual energy. In yoga, we call this spiritual energy Kundalini. And I began then to explore the optimum diet for spiritual life as well as physical life. And what I observed is the diet that best supports the physical life, which helps you become a superconductor of the divine, and also the spiritual life, was a vegan, no meat, fish, chicken, dairy, or eggs, live food diet. And I was in a variety of places throughout the world, working with literally thousands of spiritual students, including living in an ashram in India, and it got very clear that this was the best diet. Now, I was and am somewhat influenced by the people who have come before me. I actually read things and observe. And the ancient rishis who lived in India 2,000 to 3,000 years ago all ate live foods. These were the great spiritual teachers. The Taoist masters ate live food. In the what people call the Old Testament, Genesis 1:29, it says the best diet is a live food diet. The herbs and grasses of the field and the fruit of a seed-bearing tree, that should be your food. So in many of the great traditions, we really see that a live food diet is the most powerful approach. A live food vegan diet. In yoga, we call this a sattvic diet, a diet that turns you inward to yourself, but it's also the most healthy diet. Now, I'm also a diplomat in Ayurveda and also a diplomat in the American Board of Holistic Medicine. So I have kind of a broad background. I also have a background and a certificate in acupuncture as well. So in all the different traditions, that's the case. Over time, I began to observe not only was it the best diet for spiritual life, but really for your physical life. Because when you eat live food, you're activating all levels of energies. Research by Dr. Breckman in Russia showed that when mice ate the same food, same amount of calories, cooked and uncooked, that when the same mice ate the uncooked food, they had 3 times the endurance. That's significant. Research by Dr. Popp in Germany showed that people who ate a live food diet had significantly more bioenergetic emissions from their tissues. For example, a person who ate a junk food diet, white flour, white sugar, junk food, processed food, had about 1,000 emissions coming from the measurement, whereas a person who ate a live food diet had 83,000. That's 83 times better. There's research done at on the bioelectric potential on our cells. And they found again that when people were eating a junk food, meat-eating diet, they had a much lower cell charge. And it was only corrected to have a full battery charge when people were eating live food. So there are many reasons, but just understand if you're building up your battery charge, you're building up your biofield, you're increasing what we call biophoton energy, which is measurable, as they have done in Germany, you're going to have more health. And that's exactly what I observed. Now, I applied this to the healing of diabetes. Why people sometimes ask me, why did you choose diabetes? Well, I choose diabetes because it's a world pandemic. There's approximately 400 million people around the world who have diabetes. And one person is dying every 7 to 10 seconds. It is a world problem. That's one reason I chose it. Second reason, it's curable. And my research really since 1973 shows me that diabetes and hypoglycemia are curable primarily by diet. So I actually have programs all over the world, and our intention is to start a program in Sao Paulo, where we're giving our workshop, to train people to screen and teach people about how to eat in a way to prevent diabetes or reverse it. At the Tree of Life Center in the United States, we have a very successful program where in 3 weeks, 61% of the non-insulin dependent diabetics and 24% of the insulin dependent diabetics, type 2, are healed. Healed means no medication and a blood sugar less than 100. That percentage increases over time, but that's how fast, in 3 weeks. The general medical belief is there is no cure for diabetes, and it's a gradual downhill descent into death. That being said, what I'm teaching, which is somewhat common sense in a way, is we have a way to reverse it and prevent it by looking at our diet. In yoga, we call it pratyahara, crimes against wisdom. And the key to understand is the way we eat and the way we live creates a setting for people to develop diabetes. One of the reasons I got interested in working on diabetes is it is a worldwide epidemic with 400 million people with diabetes and somebody dying of diabetes every 7 to 10 seconds. That's a big deal. And the cure for diabetes is pretty simple if you're ready. That's called change your diet and change your lifestyle. These are not complicated things. You don't catch diabetes, you earn it. Our work in coming to Brazil is to help people learn how to change their way of life and their diet in order to prevent the diabetes on one level, but in a bigger level. Why spiritual nutrition is how do we eat in a way that becomes a superconductor of the divine. And so it isn't just for treating diabetes, okay? But I'm just going to finish that point, is that the research shows that a vegan diet, no milk, fish, chicken, eggs, is going to protect you 35 to 55 to 50% from actually getting diabetes. That's an important. Then when we add to it avoiding GMOs, pesticide and herbicided food that's been treated radioactively to kill microorganisms, junk food, white flour, white sugar, processed food, we can make a very big difference in preventing and treating this worldwide epidemic. As I mentioned, the Tree of Life Center in U.S. has been very successful in treating what almost every medical school in the world will tell you is incurable. And just to repeat our results, 61% of the type 2 diabetics who are not on insulin heal in 3 weeks, and 24% heal in 3 weeks. And it increases after that. That's the really positive news of what's going on. Now, I've actually been training people, doctors, as well as Katya Siminato, as a manager. She's in our master's program in spiritual nutrition, to actually do this work. And right now, it is already happening in Sao Paulo, where a very similar program is set up to raise your quality of health and also treat diabetes. We're also planning in this coming visit to be training people in Sao Paulo to become diabetes prevention experts, where they'll be able to educate people how to change their diet. We're also teaching them how to screen for diabetes, because in a lot of places in the world, there isn't an adequate screening program. So that's what's really going on. Now, people ask me sometimes, well, does live food help with other things? Yes, it does. I don't want to make claims for live food, but there are several centers around the world that use live food to cure cancer. I've seen some very dramatic things. Like in neurodegenerative diseases, I have 3 documented cured cases of multiple sclerosis. So almost anything in the right time can be very, very positively affected and cured. But we can't make a claim. And that's the important thing. But people are using the live food to treat almost every disease that we know on the planet. Another way to understand this, and this is why it's good for everyone to be on live food. You don't need to have diabetes or cancer or multiple sclerosis, is that we want to build your immune system. Live food is a very effective way to build your overall life force vitality and your immune system, so whatever acute infectious diseases are happening or whatever else, you have a much stronger immune system. And you're far less likely to get sick, or if you get sick, it's very, very minor compared to people who have a weaker immune system. Now, there's a whole other level to this, which is the level I particularly enjoy, is it's a great way to live. It's really nice to be turned on as a healthy person, to be operating at the highest level of who we can be as a human being, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. I've already made it clear that live food helps you become a superconductor of the divine, and therefore enhances every aspect of your spiritual life. And again, not new information. This goes back literally thousands of years where people have known this. And another group that I did mention is the Essenes, the Essenios, who also use live food as a way of supporting their spiritual life. So when we start to see it that way, it's important. It also helps every level of your life. Now, at 73 cycles around the sun, I have significantly increased my strength and flexibility as compared to when I was a captain of an undefeated American football team. This is not soccer, it's American football, okay? And at that time, I could do 70 push-ups. When I was 60, I did 601. And just a few weeks ago, I did 42 pull-ups consecutively. So increased strength and increased flexibility. When I was playing football, I could barely sit with my legs crossed, and now I can sit in full lotus for several hours. So the live food diet not only increases your spiritual power, but also increases your physical health, your endurance, and your immune system, and your flexibility. What does that tell you? It's really a diet for everyone who wants to work at their optimal potential. So with that in mind, the bigger picture then is looking towards live food is something that you would adapt as a lifestyle, a way of life that increases every level of your being. That's the important thing here. Every level of your being, physical, emotional, mentally, spiritually, sexually, every level, okay? And that's important to hear. Now, our focus at the Tree of Life Center in the U.S. is a holistic focus versus this is a cancer clinic, this is a diabetes clinic. And when people come here, and they've come from over 125 different countries, there's a very consistent thing that people say. Whether they're here for diabetes or just for the general health and well-being, what they say is, you've helped me reconnect to my soul. That's how our work at the Tree of Life Center US in Arizona here is different than just a medical clinic. Even a holistic clinic in the sense that our focus is elevating the spirit. The work that we will be doing in São Paulo will have that component, because my world mission is to help people reconnect to their soul and awaken their spiritual energy. We will be covering all the aspects of spiritual nutrition and conscious eating in a variety of ways, and anyone who attends will also have the opportunity, what we call in yoga, the transmission of spiritual energy. We call it a Shaktipat meditation. So you'll be have the opportunity to receive that twice a day, because it's an intensive. And all the wisdom, teachings from multiple traditions, and also the knowledge information that you get from learning about spiritual nutrition. So those are what people are going to be able to really receive from this workshop. It's pretty exciting. I'm very happy to be coming to Brazil. Last time I was there, we had a really good time. And so I want to bless everyone that you feel ready enough to attend the workshop and allow your spirit to soar.